when she said that Bud Light drinkers have a fratty, stupid, whatever she said, sense of humor, right? They could have just done that. They could have came out and said, hey, we don't actually as a company support what she just said, and as a matter of fact, she is fired. Instead, what they did was they put her on paid leave, and I'm still yet to hear if she was actually permanently let go or if she's just collecting a paycheck being silent on leave. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But it could have simply gone away at that. Anheuser-Busch could have came out, fired Alyssa Heinerschneid immediately and said, we don't agree with what she just said. And then they could have simply laughed off and apologized and said, wow, well, you're not perfect all the time. You could have appealed to the Anheuser-Busch could have made an attempt to appeal to the kind nature of conservatives who like to forgive and forget by saying they missed the mark with the Mulvaney campaign. They might have taken some damage and backlash, but it wouldn't have turned into something that we're still talking about literally 10 months later. And it certainly wouldn't have cost them 30% of their sales month over month like it has. His comments were weeks before a fundraiser organized by a major lobbyist for the company on March 6th, where tickets are selling for $10,000 each. That led one conservative outlet to say the former president was bought out of the culture wars by the brewery. What do you think? Is Trump actually taking a principled stance, or is he just playing politics to appease the, I don't know. It is a dirty game, right? This week, Trump insisted Anheuser-Busch InBev is not a woke company as he threatened to release a list of those who believed were. AB InBev was pushing and prioritizing the DEI objective as recently as 10 months ago, so I think they're a pretty woke company. I don't think that they just completely abandoned their beliefs because of this one incident. So I disagree with Trump and that he's wrong here. Conservative media outlet and National Review accused Trump of being bought out of the culture wars by the brewery through the fundraiser. It noted Trump's campaign was strapped for cash compared to President Joe Biden's ample fundraising. Sorely needed extra millions. The event will be attended by dozens of members of Congress, Republican leaders, and his son, Donald Trump Jr. So yeah, it could have been just a simple statement to get money from the lobbyist. Like I said, it's a dirty game. Oh, but also something to keep in mind is Trump does run with Dana White, and Dana White seems to have made this 180 as well, and that's in conjunction with him, getting the $100 million a year marketing sponsorship from Bud Light. So keep in mind that money certainly talks to these figureheads when they're receiving millions of dollars, and to them, we're just the public sheep, the consumers of their whatever they're selling. Trump's benevolent overture, one that seems conspicuously informed by the brand itself, might not have been entirely inspired by his generosity of spirit. Rather, it was likely a prerequisite to unlock the generosity of the brand. Trump and AB InBev need one another, it argued, and their mutual admiration would cool tensions between the brewer and the right-leaning drinkers. I don't think so. I think that's assumed that right-leaning drinkers just do whatever Trump says, and you have to keep in mind that a lot of people on the right consider themselves to be free thinkers, and they don't just go with everything that Trump said. We remember the COVID stimulus bill that Trump shouldn't have signed. We also remember Trump's stance on the poke, as well as some other things, but there's just a few key ones that stand out in my mind right off the top of my head. So to sum it up, it sounds to me like Trump is just kind of playing politician to get a lobbyist to pay him some money because he needs it for his campaign, but I don't like it. It's not enough to get me to change my vote. But what about you? Does Trump changing his stance on Anheuser-Busch make you change your stance on Anheuser-Busch? It certainly doesn't for me, as my criteria doesn't rely on any particular celebrity saying, okay, now the time is over and the boycott is done. It's more based on Anheuser-Busch's actions. If they want to come out and announce that the 2 VP marketing execs that they put on paid leave are actually fired, they want to come out and make fun of themselves over the Mulvaney debacle, that would be funny. They want to put Trump's face on a can, that might serve some purpose. But mainly, I want to see them apologize for using Dylan to market beer to children. Keeping in mind that Dylan has, or at the time had like 14 million followers across all of his platforms. From what I remember, the majority aren't even 21 which is the legal drinking age in America. And nothing short of a sincere apology and firing of these people would change my stance in relationship to the boycott. I don't drink much nowadays, but if or when I do, it still won't be Bud Light. And before all this, I thought they're entrenched deeply enough that the Bud Light brand was Americana. Old signs and things like that. But now it's something that people see differently, and I don't know if they'll ever actually get that part back. And if you agree, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.